How's this? Is this okay? Let's try it like this. We have a new setting, mostly because I just wanted to bring in the banners, and this chair is really comfy. Hi world, let's start with that. Hi, this is the main web app, and it's really hot in here, so if I look like a wet potato, I'm really sorry. It's just so warm, so warm. But anyways, I read some books and saw some films in the month of May, so let's just get started with that. The first book I read was The Dragons of Tinkerfarm, which is the first part in a series, and I loved it so much. I don't have the book with me right now because my mom wants to read it as well, so it's on its way back home. But I haven't read a book this thrilling and exciting and gripping and such a page turner in what feels like years. It's fantasy, it's kind of more a kid's novel, or at least it felt like it, or it's like young adult, but it's just so exciting, and there are so many little details and little secrets that I just wanted to know, and I couldn't put it down. I honestly read it in one weekend straight, and it has like 400 pages. These characters are so complex, and most of them I don't even understand yet, so I'm really excited to read the rest of the series. Also a really good book, I had a lot of luck with my books this month, was this one, which is the German version of The Archive by Victoria Schwab. I've had this on my shelf for forever, and for some reason I never read it, but then I watched a video by Jesse the Reader where once again he talked about how much he loves Victoria Schwab. So I finally picked it up and I read it, and I loved it so much. The concept is just amazing. Again, it's fantasy, and it's about the world where the dead go, kind of. And the concept, as I said, it's just such a cool new concept. The cover does kind of reminded me of the ones in Silver by Kerstin Gill, if anyone's read that. I love the way the feelings were described, like with music, that's just so fantastic. And yeah, I totally understand why Jesse loves Victoria Schwab so much. Again, this is the first part in the series, so yeah, again, looking forward to the next part. Then I read two small ones. First one is Animal Farm by George Orwell, which I never have read, and I'm an English student, so it was about time. I loved it again, had a lot of luck with my books this month. This was so well done. It's kind of sad that there has to be a story about animals becoming like humans, that for us to realize how stupid we behave. I mean, a lot of these things are quite obvious, but most of them are really like political, and this just really shows what stupid things we do sometimes. And then I read this, which I'm not quite sure what the actual title is. I think it's the Marsprojekt. It's a series, and it has like 100 pages in this really small format. It's by Andreas Eschbach, and it's about a civilization that has formed on Mars, and one girl actually was born there, and everyone always says like there is no other life on Mars because they've lived there and they've never met anyone and they've never found any proof. But one day she sees something and she thinks it could be civilization, and it could be life on Mars apart from the humans that live there now. I have to say that actually it was a bit boring for like the first 50 pages, but I thought, okay, it's so small, I can just read it. I like the idea of people actually already living on Mars and that being the setting. But yeah, the first 50 pages were kind of dull, but then something happened and it got really exciting, and then there's a big cliffhanger, so I have to get the next one. These are only like €4, so I will probably read the whole 6-part series. And I'm also gonna put this one in here. This is the third part of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams, which I'm trying to completely read this year. I haven't completely finished it yet, but I think I'm gonna today or at least tomorrow, so I'm just gonna put it in here. Also because just like the first 2 parts, it's so hilarious. Douglas Adams has a really bizarre taste of humor, and it's just my kind of humor. There are so many scenes that just don't make sense or that are just really stupid and therefore funny. He has such a nice way of also playing with the reader's expectations. Like a lot of the scenes are set up to lead to something and then they don't, they lead to something completely different, and it's just so hilarious. So these were all the books I read in May, and I feel my throat getting full, so if I sound weird, I'm a little bit sick. But anyways, let's move on to the films. The first one, I don't know the English title of, but as always there will be the title and the trailer in the description below. In German it's called Liebe in jeder Beziehung, and it's basically about, yeah, the German title really plays with it well. It's about love in every relationship, so it's about a lot of different relationships and forms of relationships. We have flatmates, we have romantic relationships, we have marriage, we have friendship. It's really just a way of showing how differently every single relationship we have can be, and how even like a single relationship or a romantic relationship can be different for a lot of different people. So I think, first of all, it was really funny, but also it was really insightful and really telling, I guess. Then I saw 10 Cloverfield Lane, mainly because a friend of mine wanted me to see it, and I still don't know what the hell I've seen. I don't know what there was. Really nice was the film Kubo, which is an animated film. Actually, it's stop motion. And if you see this film, you have to watch the entire credits, because they do some like explanation and some footage of how they did this stop motion. It's so fascinating. Like, the film itself was really nice, it had some plot holes, but overall it was a really nice story. I also like that it was a calm story and it didn't end in the way you'd expect it to. So I'd say it was worth watching. It wasn't like the best film I've ever seen, but just imagining how much time it took to make this film, it just blows my mind. It's amazing. Then I also saw Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and I'm not gonna say a lot about that because I want you to go in it without a lot of expectations. I'm just gonna say that I personally was a bit disappointed by the character development and that the music wasn't as good as the first part. However, the visuals and the animations and everything was amazing again. And there are a lot of scenes that made me excited for the next films. And yeah, it's still Marvel, so it was still fun. And the last film I saw was Allied, which, first of all, I realized that there is a long time in the beginning where no one is talking at all. Because in the cinema I work at uni, I always have to like crouch down in front of the projector to adjust the volume, and you can do that, or it's best to do that when they're talking, because that's the normal volume. But I had cramps in my thighs. It was such a long time, it felt like hours. So that's the first thing I realized. Second thing I again realized this every time I see a film about World War II. It's just really difficult to see it as a German, especially when it's from the point of view of another country, because it's just a huge part of our history. But the actors were great, and it was an interesting story, let's put it like that. So yeah, that's everything I read and watched this month. As per usual, please let me know what you read and watched, or what you think about the things that I've just told you about. What am I doing with my hands? And yeah, I hope you always have a reason to smile, and I shall see you next week. Goodbye!